Good morning, everybody. Now, normally I don't do pop-ups. I normally schedule my live, give everybody opportunities, to tune in. But today is a little bit different, right? So I titled this "Stop Surviving and Start Thriving" because for the past 3 days I have been not well. Let me rephrase it. I have been with my family member who's in the hospital, right? And the person is literally trying to fight for their life, right? They're trying to fight to survive. Surviving is, overcoming difficult aspects, difficult situations. And there's no way to fight for an individual for that, but for their life. Meaning, they literally are trying to stay alive to see another day. A lot of us use that word surviving as, when we not making ends meet, or, we're without a job, or things of that situation. We need to understand that we have the opportunity to continue because we still have air in our lungs, the opportunity to talk, the opportunity to use our eyes, ears, and the things that God has given us from the day of birth. Right? We spoke about newness in the last live, right? So we're gonna tie it into this one because with newness, you have an opportunity to go above and beyond certain situations, right? And I'm sitting there day after day, encouraging the family member. Come on, we got to do better. We got to do better, right? And you know, you could only say but so much. The time for talking is literally over. It's time to do. It's literally like a do or die situation, right? We have to stop allowing people, we have to stop allowing situations to keep us in this survival mentality, right? Over the past 3 days, like I said, I've I'm doing everything possible to speak life into a situation, to speak life into individuals, right? There's no worse sight than seeing somebody sobbing over a loved one because they wasn't able to survive their illness, survive whatever situation has made them succumb and lose their life. But we are not losing life. We are here breathing. We are here saying, you know what? I gotta do better. Sometimes we just gotta stop talking and start doing. We have to because we shouldn't be in a survival mode. We have too much in within us to just be surviving. It's time for us to thrive. It's time for us to say, you know what? We may not have $1 million, but we can thrive with what we have. We got to pay these bills. I understand that. But you're not in survival mode because if you was in survival mode, there are people that are homeless that are not even in survival mode. They think some of them thinking they're thriving because they have air in their lungs. They can breathe. They can go out there and ask somebody or hustle their way for food or something or something to drink, things that'll keep them for the next day. And most of them get by with it. So, realist, what's going on? So we have to understand, man, that survival is a word that we say. We're not even in survival mode. We're in. We have to appreciate the life that we have, even if it's not our best life, right? We have to understand thriving is not it's like abundance, right? We may not have it financially, but you still could thrive in this life. You still could thrive by being a consistent person who is showing their wealth of compassion, their wealth of understanding, their wealth of maintaining a peaceful state of mind where others are chaotic. And you don't have to, that is above surviving, because we all have that opportunity. But if we stay in this low frame of mind, of the mindset of, because I don't have it, as far as I don't have ac- if we don't have extra, right, extra extra couple of dollars, because we so fixated on financials. But we have to understand there's more into this life than financials. We get it, money makes the world go round. We get it that, you know you got to pay this bill, that bill, this bill, that bill. We understand all of that. But if what is life without finances? You can we're literally trying to gain the whole world and are losing aspect of the thriving abilities that is still within us. We have to do the best that we can to understand we are more than in survival mode, right? Some of us have a roof over our heads. Some of us have food in our pantries, or cabinets. We have those things that allow us to be more than survivors, right? There are people that's been attacked and overcame those situations. Those are survivors, but even they don't want to be victimized. They want to be victorious. That means they are thriving from the situation that they're coming from. But here we are, the woe is me, the victim Olympics. I don't have this, I don't have that. We rather spend $200 on a pair of Jordans than putting $200 and a IUL to allow it to finance us for a better tomorrow, a future that's ahead of us. We rather invest in clothing. I don't even know what the new clothing style is. We rather invest and clothing so we can look like we got it. But a lot of want to y'all don't even have the abundance of understanding that thriving is predicated to tomorrow. Y'all still living in today, and then talking about we ain't got it. I'm surviving. I'm doing this. I'm maintaining. Maintaining is not survival. Maintaining means you have the mind of, what, I could keep afloat. That's not even surviving. That's getting you to your next step, right? It's time for us to grow the hell up. It's time for us to say, you know what, we need to do what we have to do in order to elevate ourselves. Y'all got to get out of this grown man. Kaylani, what's going on? Y'all got to get out of this grown mentality. We still have room to grow, right? Just because our bodies is not growing doesn't mean that our mind can't grow. It doesn't mean that our souls can't intake the abundance of knowledge that's given us. The spirit is telling you that you can gain more information to allow your spirit to illuminate a whole lot more. Appreciate you. And these are the things that we have to do going forward. We have to say, you know what, I'm no longer in survival mode. Just because I may not have two nickels to rub, but I still can go on and plan for how to get them two nickels, how to turn those nickels into two quarters, how to turn those two quarters into a dollar bill, how to turn that dollar bill into $10, and so on and so forth. But because we don't want to do the freaking work, right? We don't want to do no work. We just want things to fall out of the sky, like the manna did in the Bible. Well, guess what? Y'all not even applying that logic to yourself either, meaning you're not even being obedient to what is being given to you. What's being given to you is the simple fact you have a passion that would allow you to thrive. You won't feed it. You have the authority to say, you know what? I'm more than a survivor. I'm an overcomer. I could be able to do this, that, and the third. But y'all so busy worrying about what Tom is doing, what Jane is doing. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses ain't gonna be there for you, right? And like I said, because I'm sitting there watching these people fighting for their family, I'm thankful that my individual family member is pulling through. But even when I'm leaving this place, even when I leave the hospital, I'm sitting there watching this grown man sob because he had a loss. He lost a family member. And I said to myself, you know what, man? This is a damn shame. We sitting there crying over spilled milk because we thinking we out here just surviving and we have the opportunity to thrive. These individuals that's losing their life, they don't have the opportunities to survive. What I'm telling y'all is we're not in survival mode. I don't give a damn how you place it, how you say it, how you are. You should be thankful that you have what you have. Now it's time for you to grow the hell up. It's time for you to say, you know what? How do I turn this into a thriving situation? You thrive because you want to elevate. If you thrive because you want to grow what you need to invest in yourself. You need to understand that you have the tools already. I may sound repetitive. I may be I may be repeat myself, but the fact of the matter is these words need to be drilled into your mind because your mind open up your. I'm not gonna tell you your mind. Have a new state of mind. Have to say, you know what? I I don't have to have everything that I need. I don't have to have the abundance of wealth, but I have the abundance of understanding how to get to that next step. You hold the keys to your future. You hold the keys to your life, right? You need to understand that. Stop. As long as I don't turn my wants into needs, if I don't need those extra pair of shoes, if I don't need that $1,500 bag, if I don't need all of this excess food, I can have a healthy body. I can have an extra thing of cash that I can invest in and put it somewhere else. I can have the health. You know what? I can play with my grandchild if I got a grandchild. I could play with my young child if I have a young child. The survival mode is this. Is not that you don't have, but we are now becoming influencers and role models, right? Whether we like it or not. If you birth a child, ladies, if you planted a seed, men, you are now role models. There was a little that is walking and breathing and crawling. You have to represent that you are not in survival mode. You don't have to quote unquote fake it till you make it. It's time for you to say, you know what? I'm gonna make it in spite of. I'm gonna make it because I have the opportunity to invest in something new. Whether it's, you know what, investing in your health, investing in your job, investing in, just being the person that you want to be. That's an investment worth investing in. You don't have to sacrifice nothing because there's no loss in improving yourself. You can't lose in improving yourself because improvement only goes up. If you are changing, you might could say that because we all know I say changing, it has an up and a down, but improvement is only one way to go, and that's up. And each and every one of us need to have that mindset. I'm not surviving, I'm thriving. That is an elevated state of mind thinking. We need to have that going forward. We have to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. We need to say, you know what? I am more than a conqueror, right? We have fought for so many nonsensical things. If nonsensical is not a word, I made it up. That's cool. But what I'm telling you is we have fought for a bunch of bullshit that we didn't even need. We didn't need that abusive relationship. We didn't need we didn't need that bottle of beer. We didn't need that extra bag of weed. We didn't need none of that shit. But we fought and fought just because we thought we needed that in order to go on with our day because we had survival tactics. Right now it's time to have thriving tactic. What is a thriving tactic? The thriving tactic is that, you know what? If I have a skill that I have, I need to invest in that, right? This is why I made these last 3 videos occur. You have the potential to do that, but in order to tap into your potential, you must have a newness. And when you tap into that newness, you are no longer in survival mode because everything is growing and is going to work in your favor, but you have to put in the work. Everything in life is about you putting in the work, just like everything in life is about growth. You have to grow on a daily basis. Stop thinking that as growth as a physical thing. Stop thinking that survival as a a physical thing. You got to survive the attacks on your mind. You have to survive those people telling you that you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. At the end of the day, you got to understand that in order to thrive, you got to know you can do it. Stop believing and knowing. Stop thinking and knowing. Just know what you have to do. If you know you need to get a better job, go on out there and get a better job. Stop being afraid of doing the work. If you do the work, you're going to get the results. Most of us. I'll tell people all the time, if you doing your best and you know you doing your best, the results are going to turn in your favor. Why? Because you're going to be put into a position of success because you're doing everything that you need to do. It may not happen that day. It may not happen that hour, but if you keep working at it, the thriving level elevates because you should be tired of this quote unquote survival mode. You should be, oh, I'm just surviving. I only got this apartment. There's somebody out there in the streets. Oh, I'm just surviving because I got a home. There's somebody wanting to be where you are and you calling yourself a survivor. Those people under you is looking up at you. They trying to elevate to where you are because they think you're thriving. Because excuse me, they know that you're thriving because you're not in a worse position than as they feel that they are. So they're trying to find ways to do it. But the lazy person is going to say, "I'm not going to put the work in." The lazy person going to say, I don't have the gumption or the energy to do so. We find energy and we find ways to do everything else. Let's find a way to start thriving. Let's find a way to be a better version of ourselves. Let's stop saying, you know, this way ain't working. You ain't even tap into the potentials of the newness in life, but you just want to stay where you are because you're comfortable. Comfort and stagnation can work together, right? Because y'all know stagnation kills momentum and it kills dreams. And if it does that, then you will remain where you are. You don't have to go through this life by yourself and thrive towards that person that you want to be with in your life. Thrive for that friendship that you want to have. Thrive for that significant other that you want to have. That's thriving. That's the abundance that God has given you. I keep telling y'all the storehouse. Naga, what's going on? This is what you need to understand. If you thriving, you ain't surviving. It's an elevation that must take place in your thinking, right? Everything works from the inside out. Stop looking at the sun and illuminate with it. Meaning, if you understand that it gives you the power to do so because it's giving you the energy and the life that it's supposed to give you, you're supposed to reproduce that life. And by reproducing that life, you should be able to be thriving instead of surviving. You are not in a poor predicament, right? The only poor predicament you in is the state of mind that you have that makes you feel like you're a survivor or in survival mode. This is not for those people that have, like I said, this is not for those people that has been a victim of a heinous crime. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the state of mind that people are in because they feel like they don't have the millions of dollars. They so busy focused on the finances that they don't understand that you have an abundance that don't have nothing to do with the finances. But if you work on that abundance, it can lead you to that financial abundance that you're talking about. But if you stay in this survival state of mind, you ain't gonna have shit but a pot to piss in. You may not even have a window to throw it out. And these are the things that I'm trying to get people to understand. Like I said, I'm like right now, I'm literally sitting outside of this hospital to go and visit this family member who was sitting there fighting to survive his situation or her situation or their situation, because at the end of the day, it shouldn't have to take us a medical emergency to understand we got more to fight for. We should have this state of mind already. We shouldn't be gasping for air to understand we have to fight for survival. We should be appreciating what we have and asking ourselves, how can we improve on this? How can we start the thriving mentality of elevating what we have already, right? You want to have a home, now you got to make it a house. That's thriving because now you need that peace of mind in that house to make it a home. You got to understand that you all have this energy. You all have this power that's within you. Stop crying about the shit that you don't have. Start working toward the things that you do have. If you work for the things that you do have, you ain't got to worry about the things that's not in your possession yet. Work your ass off for it. Nothing was given to us in life. The only thing that was given to us was life itself. Everything else you got to work for it. So too, you got to work to thrive. Stop saying I need to wait because I'm waiting for this break. Make your break. Make your way. It may not, like I told you, it may not happen overnight. But I tell y'all all the time, the race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but those who endure. You got to endure. You got to fight. You got to overcome. You got to do all of these things to get to your highest potential. Ain't nothing in life easy. And like I'm telling y'all, there's people that take for granted that the just breathing is easy. Now I'm sitting there watching these people fight for their life to get right, to gasp. They're gasping for air. We need to stop gasping to thrive. We need to just go ahead and work our way to it. We have the capacity to do it, whether it's mentally, physically, and emotionally. We have it. We already have it. It's up to you to activate it. That's the potential I was telling you about two lives ago. And in the last live, I told you because you have the newness, you will be tapping into that potential. And now that you're doing both of those things, you should not be, you should be elevating yourself from the survival mode to thriving mode. Meaning, just because I don't have what I need right now, it doesn't mean I can't get up there and work for it. You don't need that. You don't need to push the button for the medical emergency. You are strong enough to get up and get to where you need to go for yourself. You shouldn't have to worry about slipping and falling down. We've overcome many of fears in our lives. We overcame being alone. We overcame that abusive relationship. We overcame the loss of a loved one. We've done all of that already. We are still here because we are to thrive through that situation. The occasion has come and you have risen to it. Now it's time for you to become the occasion for it to rise to you. You got to understand that you have that strength to do that. Hey, ma'am, how you doing? Hey, Isha. But you got to understand it's up to you to have that mentality, but you got to work at it. So that's the solution that I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all have the opportunity. Y'all have the gumption to do it. I don't have it. Let me work my way for it. Right? I don't have the strength to be an independent person. Let me work myself into an independent business. But you got to understand the rules to this thing. The rules is simple. You got to work and elevate yourself from that lower tier to the upper tier. You got to work to become a boss. Ain't nobody handing you nothing. You are not, people are not, this is not the silver spoon age. We don't have that silver spoon. And I'm talking about financially right now. So you got to work your way forward. You might have been given a silver spoon of understanding that you have the abundance in you already, but you got to activate it. You got to allow it to motivate and thrive into your everyday life. It's not going to happen overnight. But as long as you sitting on your ass, you ain't going to know what's what. As long as you expecting somebody to hand you the keys, you not know. You got to get up and earn it. Some of us, not by force, well, you got to take the keys. You got to take those keys because nobody's willing to hand them over to you. But the keys to your storehouse you already have. It's time for you to use them. It's time for you to activate that gift to say, you know what? I'm tired of just getting by. That's what y'all calling survival. I'm just getting by. Y'all calling that survival. But getting by means, I have enough to go on. Y'all gotta allow that thing to go on, elevate into something brand new, right? When you get to that brand new mentality, man, I promise you, things will pick up in your favor. That means you're thriving. That's what you need to understand. If you work hard at it, you're going to elevate. When you elevate, you're thriving for it. It's not a survival situation. I'm sitting here literally watching people fighting for survival of life. We have the life. We have the opportunity to thrive. Why are we just handing it over to nothing? We sitting there wasting the opportunity. We got to stop doing that, man. And like I said, y'all know I don't do pop-ups, but I'm sitting, like I said, for the past 3 days, I couldn't do the sports channel. I haven't done nothing because all of this time I'm sitting there trying to speak life. Like, yo, when you become well enough, we can do better things. We can thrive away from this illness that's trying to hold you back. And that's a physical illness. We just got the lazy mental illness to where we are just surviving because we don't want to work and we don't want to bust our ass to elevate our state of mind, or we don't want to work hard to become that best person, whether it's a job or as an individual or whatever. We got to understand we need to elevate. We need to thrive because as long as we sitting in survival mode, nothing grows. There's nothing growing within us. Y'all living in the winter, we in summer. Summer is where things have to. It's going to take its time to grow because spring is already has sprouted its root already. We don't even have the roots to understand. A lot of us don't have the understanding that we have the roots to elevate and thrive. We missed that spring season. We just looking at the fall, wait for the winter because it's too damn hot. But we got to understand, even in that hotness, things are going to grow. There's going to be a breeze that's going to cool you off and allow things to prosper in your life. But as long as you don't grasp or understanding of what the seasons is in your life, you just going to feel like you're just surviving, and you're not. You have to be appreciative of what is in front of you. Now it's up to you to invest in it and allow it to prosper from from nothing to something. If you just holding on to the wisdom and understanding, what good is that going to do somebody else? If you don't invest that coin, you're going to end up with that coin. That thing could have thrived into 10 coins, 20 coins, a million coins. Is a reason why people is investing in an imaginary coin that they never seen. But you see it's prospering. Well, what if we just put that into everyday thought? What if we say, you know what, if I invest in myself, I could be the best version of myself and it'll help me thrive. It'll help my children thrive. It could make a family better than what it is now. But if we don't invest in ourselves, you're gonna stay in that victimized situation. But you're not a fucking victim. You are holding yourself back. You are not allowing yourself to thrive from the nothingness of what happened yesterday. You have to understand it's time for you to elevate into that version to where I can just look at yesterday and thank God or thank whoever you worship or praise or whatever it is. You allow me to come from that to this, right? Y'all know my 33 brother, right? He's not, he's literally blind. He's legally blind, but he's not allowing that to stop him. He's still thriving in a situation. He tells y'all the story all the time how I didn't have the energy to do this. I didn't have the gumption to do that. But now because he found his way from that situation, he elevated from, you know, surviving to thriving, not being a victim of what happened in his life. Now he's doing things. He has a family. He's working with his children. He's still giving us time and opportunity. He's giving himself freely. That's thriving. That's not to put him on a pedestal. I'm giving y'all an example of what can happen if you stop being in survival mode. You can thrive into a better version of yourself. But if you're gonna keep worrying about, oh my God, I don't have this, I don't have that. If you keep focusing on the nothing, you're not gonna make that nothing into a something because you're only focused on nothing. Your solution is how, or your question is how to make $1 out of 15 cents. You make $1 out of 15 cents by investing in yourself and thriving to meeting that goal. How can I become a better man? By being around better people that's going to help me to elevate myself? How can I become a better woman? To being around people that's going to allow me to elevate and thrive into a better woman. Will that make you the greatest person? Maybe, maybe not. But it'll make you great. It's a difference. It'll make you better than what you was before. You won't be on the mentality of the woe is me mentality. I need to get over this. You do need to get over it. The question is, what is your solution of getting over it? The best solution I could tell you is that you got to put in the damn work. How do you put in the work? You focus on what you want. You focus on the potential that you have. You have a new state of mind of working on that potential. And then when all of that occurs, I promise you, you will thrive and elevate to receive it. But it's not up to me. It's up to you. I could say this till my face turn blue, but it's up to you to receive what's at hand. And if you receive it, you become a better version of yourself. If you receive it, you no longer in survival mode. If you receive it, you are no longer a victim. You will be victorious. You will overcome the lack of. You will do all of that if you put the work in. So the solution, another part of the solution is you working your ass off for it. Nothing will be handed to you. Nothing. Nothing will be handed to you. You have been given life, and now it's time for you to elevate your life. Everybody's waiting to go to the kingdom because they think it's inherited to them. No, you still got to work on it. You still got to work to improve your peace, your heaven, your state of mind, your state of emotion. You still got to work on it. Nothing is free in this world. Time and energy is a part of a payment. So too will it help you elevate into thriving situations. Without it, you will be in the midst of nothing. You guys, we have to understand that going forward, right? And I'm about to get off because, like I said, I have to go here and attend to a family matter. But at the end of the day, you gotta work while it's day, right? Because if your eyes are closed, and that's what night is when they talking about that in that book, that's what night is. No man can work. You ain't gonna know who you are. It's time for you to work while it's daytime, while your eyes is open, while you still can move around, while you still got limbs, while you still have the opportunity. You can thrive from that survival mode that you're in. You don't have to be a victim. It's time for you to get out of that victim mentality and start working hard and thriving for your next state of your next state of mind, which is how to become that better version. How can I thrive with this peace that I'm working for? How can I thrive with this overcoming of anxiety? How can I thrive that I got away from this chaos now? It's up to you to put the work in. Nobody can love you more than you love yourself. If you love yourself, all you want somebody to do is to add to you. But if you in survival mode, you don't even feel love. You don't even know what love is because you're just surviving. Right, Isha? No, no. If you got this time, the victimhood, the victim Olympics is over. We ready to ban that. Stop worrying about what the politics is telling y'all what to do. They can't. You can't do this. You gotta know that there's a way to overcome all of these things. You don't have to survive the law. You can thrive through it because there's always a way. There's a way out of no way. There's a way out of being and there's a way of overcoming victimhood. The way you overcome it is knowing that you are better than what that situation has left you in. And when you understand that, you will become a better version of yourself. When you understand that, you can say, you know what, I could conquer anything because you understand that your mind will allow you to elevate into all possibilities. It'll allow you to thrive and elevate from what you stood in once before. Stop looking at everything physical. Physically is not the only part of life, even though that's the majority of the life that we live through. You still have the mental side. You still have the emotional side that can always flourish and grow. But until you stop just looking at that first part of that trinity, the physical, the mental, and the emotional, which is only the physical that a lot of us look at, that we can feed the other two. We don't, the unity of the three together will make us thrive for whatever we need to thrive. Just like the mind, body, and soul got to work, the physical, the mental, and emotional got to do the same. It's all in one product. But we got to stop playing with these words. We got to stop speaking death into our life. We got to stop speaking, the worriations of life, and say, you know what? I will overcome it. It's time for the affirmations. I will, I shall. Because it leaves a little bit of doubt. I shall is going to make you do it. I will is going to make you strive to do it. Right? So those are the solutions that I have as far as, coming from survival to thriving. I truly believe that you can, I'm not going to say can. I just said we can't say can. You will do the things that you need to do in order to thrive. Here's the caveat. In order for you to do it, you must know that you can. Don't think it. Don't say it's a possibility. Know it. Because when you know something, you stand in it, you're making that a fact in your life. It may not be the truth, but it can be your truth if you continue to elevate and work at it. And those are the things that we have to understand going forward, right? And when we do that going forward, I promise you, things will pop into your mind. Maybe if I go about it this way, even if it doesn't work for you, the fact that you thought it can and you applied it, and if it didn't work, now another thought is gonna come into your mind, right? The fact that you using these aspects to allow yourself to thrive in your thinking is something that's going to allow you to say, you know what, I will be a better version of myself. I will be a better parent. Even if you don't think you are a good parent, you are, but there's always room for growth, is what I'm trying to tell you. There's always room to thrive, right? Because even though we can't make perfection, we can always strive for it. We can always reach for the stars. We can always try to grasp that moon that comes out at night, right? And these are the things that we have to understand. It doesn't mean, just because it's improbable, it doesn't mean that it's impossible. And as long as you think it's something that is impossible, you are always going to be in survival mode. You're always going to be in that lower level form of self. It's time for us to wake up, not stay in a daydream, because we got our eyes. A lot of people got their eyes open talking about they woke. They still daydreaming. I see what's going on. Okay, if you see what's going on, now it's time for you to elevate, to overcome what's going on. Stop worrying about if somebody's going to send the Secret Service to your place. You know that you're going to have to prepare yourself. You're going to have to thrive to overcome that situation. And, there's entities in your life that don't want you to prosper. You have to thrive and overcome that situation. These are the things, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's the government, whomever. You got to understand that even if it's your own health, you can fix yourself. God has given you everything on the planet. Scorp has given you everything on the planet in order for you to thrive. You don't need that miracle pill. Like I tell people all the time, they say dandelions is weed, right? But they give you dandelions in your medicine in order for you to get well. But they telling you that the things that grow in that little itty bitty yellow flower that grows in your landscape, your garden, your lawn, is a bad thing. But they give it to you to help you become a better not better person, for your health to become better. You got to understand there's a lot of people that are against you. That should automatically make you want to thrive. Not to prove them wrong, but to prove that what you can be is correct. That may be the only time for you to be right, and it makes sense. Because all the time, I don't want to be right all the time. But in this case, I want to be right because I know that I have the gumption to be thriving instead of surviving. It's not a logic for me. It's an opportunity to put that in motion and show people that, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. A better you becomes a better us because you are the living testimony of how you thrived through that situation. How you walked out of the hospital and now you cancer free. How you walked out of the hospital and now you don't need that oxygen mask no more. You don't need the assistance of the medical world. You can get that with your own understanding of what you need to do. You got to do the work. If you make a remedy to your cold, you did the work. You didn't have to go to your hospital, your nearest doctor, your nearest hospital in order for you to do that. You did that. Well, Grandma said if we eat chicken noodle soup, it will come better. If that works, you didn't have to go to the hospital for it. You made yourself well without the assistance of artificial things. You are a natural creature that's supposed to naturally want to thrive, not sit there in doom and gloom. But a lot of us are like that because we don't want to do the work. It's time for us to do the work. It's time for us to grow in mind and soul. The body is not going to grow anymore, but it doesn't leave room for growth in the other two aspects. Physically, we can't grow, but everywhere else we can. And as long as we can do that mentally and spiritually, we will never be victims. So we have to take that for what it is and we have to apply it and we have to allow it to work in our favor. If it doesn't go our way, we shouldn't quit. We just have to find another avenue to do it. It's easy to quit, but in the long run, if you get knocked down, if you pick yourself up, you are still in the fight. And 9 times out of 10, you will win the fight because you didn't give up. Because winners don't quit and quitters don't win. So as long as you is in the mind of just surviving, you're quitting on yourself. You won't win. But if you're trying to get up to thrive, the fight is always going to be in your hands and it's always going to lead you to a victory if that's what you choose to do. But as I sign off, I just want y'all to know the choice is always going to be yours. It's going to be your opportunity. It's going to be in your hands. Do you want to be a lower level yourself and just survive, or do you want to thrive so everybody knows that your best version is on its way? So with that being said, I appreciate you guys coming through. Score up. I appreciate you, Isha. I know it's kind of lunchtime ish for you because you're on the other side. So it's your girl Isha. She's a gamer. I've met her through other avenues. She's great people. If y'all into gaming, y'all subscribe to her. Like I said, she's good peoples, and she's on the other side of the pond. So she may not be gaming all the time. They got the hour differences, but she's good people. Y'all subscribe to her. Score up. I always appreciate you. You always there. My guy Naga, he has wisdom beyond his years. Y'all check him out and see if he works for y'all. The realest one, that's my guy. He's one of those guys. He won't take he won't allow victimhood to shut him down. He's gonna always overcome because he always acting accordingly. That's Mr. Triple A himself. Y'all sub up to him as well. Uh, I think that's Eric Kaylani. Y'all check Kaylani out. He has a good heart. You know what I mean? You know, he's a living testimony right now, right? No disrespect to the situation. He just lost somebody near and dear to him, and now he's overcoming that situation by pouring into other people, right? He could have been like, yo, woe is me, but he understands. He's saying to himself, like, yo, that's not what my people will want me to do. My people will want me to pour into other people so they can elevate and thrive as well. So that's what he's doing. So shout out to Kaylani. And this is why we gotta have these conversations because we don't know who we reaching by having these conversations. We are encouraging somebody to do something else. But that's why, in the 9%, they say a better you is a better us. And that's one of the reasons why, because we're trying to allow people to say, you know what, I may not feel the best right now, but if I keep working at it, if somebody gives me an idea and it works for me, I can start thriving instead of just surviving. So with that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all. I'll be back soon, whether it's here or my alter ego, Mr. 33 Sports Chat. Uh, but y'all stay tuned, man. Y'all stay tuned. And I appreciate you guys coming through. With that being said, I'm out.